I'm Atypical, and this is a review of Serenity. It's a great film. I want to say Serenity is a masterpiece because it blends the genres of space opera and Western really well. It doesn't like just smash them together. It mixes them, shows how they're different, shows how they're alike, and then uses that for great storytelling. But that's, just objectively true. It's not an opinion. So, yeah. I could probably give some evidence for that. So Malcolm is the Western character, and River is the sci-fi protagonist, and they do things very differently. Malcolm's journey and everything are all external, and River's journey and everything and conflict and all that are all internal in her head, which is great because those are how the genres generally happen. And at the end of the film, we see them do the opposite. With River, we see her overcome her mental blocks and all that stuff. As far as we know, she doesn't regress back into a point where she's like crazy. She like, it clicks, something clicks, and then she goes beast mode beast mode, sure, which is a reversal of the tropes of the genre that she represents. And Malcolm, who is the Western character who does everything by action, and even though he does solve his problem by action, usually it is action to make action or action to have other action or non-action. Throughout the series, we see that. But in this case, it is action because of what he is believing, not like he chooses, like he believes the Alliance sucks, and it mostly does, sort of. But he like gets all introspective, not so outwardly, but like I think you get what I mean. He wants to show people how the Alliance is bad and why he thinks it's bad. And that's why he does get the message out, because, he thinks the Alliance is bad. He hates the Alliance. He wants the Alliance to fail throughout the entire show. But at the end of the film, he wants to show people that they're fallible and that they should not try and make people more than people, which I guess conflicts with River, who is a person who is more than a person. Anyway, this isn't what I usually do. So I'm going to go over some of my notes on what I didn't exactly like, because I love the movie. I just watched it again. It's a great movie. But there's things, I guess, gripes that I have that are mostly minor. Like, as a standalone film, I have no problem with it. It's hard to say that because it's not a standalone film. And I can't really think of it as a standalone film because even though they and spoilers, I know I do that a lot. I spoil things. I wonder why that might be. Maybe it has something to do with this being a review channel. So far, we don't know. I have some ideas for the future. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, standalone film. The characters they kill, specifically Book and Washburn, I didn't like that because it's not a standalone film. If it was a standalone film, I understand exactly why they did that. Um, Book is a mysterious character, but that's kind of irrelevant. He's really cool. I love Book. I love all the characters. Um, but Book, as far as the movie goes, is a safe haven. Wow. As his settlement is called Haven. Wow. Bit too subtle, aren't you, Joss? Anyway, so he runs Haven, and he lets Mal and the crew of Serenity lie low in Haven often because he used to be part of the crew. But wait, can you have viewers that aren't? Holy crap! Can I like stream through this? Holy crap! This is really cool. Sorry, I'm coming up with other ideas while I do this. This is bad. I'm thinking of running a role-playing show through this channel, like role-playing games. We might even do Serenity, the role-playing game. And I think it says I'm gonna experiment a bit with this. I think you can have viewers um, without them being participants. I am gonna look into that. Anyway, Book is their protector sometimes, and the nameless assassin, we'll call him Guy because he is a guy. Guy kills him and the two twins, and I think I saw Badger dead, but I don't know. In order to get rid of any place that Malcolm could run to, or the crew of Serenity could run to, which is really smart and makes sense why Book dies, because he's saying, I will kill literally anyone to get to what I need to do. I will kill children, priests, women, men, whatever, doesn't matter. Gonna kill them to get to you in order to get to River, because I want to kill River, because I believe that's the right thing to do. Anyway, that's why it makes sense that he died. But outside of the movie, it doesn't make sense because Shepherd Book is such a good character. And he has such more of a story to tell in season 2. And now he can't do that. Also with Washburn, I think his name is Horan Washburn, which I think is interesting because we don't think we ever hear his name, Horan, until we see it on his grave. But Washburn is awesome. He's funny. He's the comic relief for the movie. Yeah, when Kaylee's trying to reassure Simon that no one's saying that you have to get off. He comes back with, no one but Jane is saying you have to get off. And I don't know. The way I say it sounds dumb, but he makes otherwise very tense situations just slightly less, and it's really good to have in a movie like this. But then he dies. He has this great shiny moment where he is the important character. He's, the space battle. He's just weaving in and out of things the way a leaf would, because leaves use fluid dynamics to avoid collision with other things, and he's doing the same sort of thing, although he's using propulsion instead of fluid dynamics the way a leaf would. But that's not the important part. The important part is he's weaving in and out of danger and eventually lands the ship safely and then gets stabbed by a thing, like a rod of metal. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it came from. It came from the Reveiw ship, clearly, but it just, or did it? I don't know. I thought it came from the Reveiw ship, but now I think maybe it was just like a falling piece of metal pipe. But yeah, I thought his death was stupid, and unless in season 2 he becomes a ghost, which I've seen that on the internet. They're like, oh, he becomes a ghost in the comics, and I thought that'd be really cool. I haven't actually read the comics. I'm going to do that afterwards, though I might want to do homework. I should do homework, then I'll read the comics, and if he becomes a ghost, that would be super cool. Like if he has a child with Zoe, even though he's dead, had a child with Zoe, she finds out she's pregnant, then he becomes a ghost that only River can see because she's a psychic, and she can see ghosts, I assume, because the people who just laid down on Miranda, the people that died from the Pax of Whatsits, she heard their ghosts and the ghosts of the Reavers and stuff like that, I think. Okay, I just smelled something really bad and I thought it might have been my hand, but it's not. Anyway, she saw their ghosts or something, and they're all talking to her and saying nothing. That bit was really cool, and I think she can see ghosts, which would be a really a really cool thing to have in a show. Just a character that only one other character can see, who's just walking around being a ghost, haunting people. I think Washburn would make a very good ghost. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd rather see him alive, but if not, if we're gonna say that Serenity is canon going into season 2, then I want him to be a ghost. I want him to be back. I want Alan Tandusky, I think his name is, to be back as Ghost Wash. That'd be cool. Yeah. He haunt people. And then, the kid will grow up on the ship and also see him. They'll have cool interactions. Oh, if we did a time skip, that'd be probably best. I know I don't want to do a time skip, but that would optimally be best for the show. It's all right, it's been, holy shit, 14 years since the show and 11 years since the movie. time has passed for everyone. People have left. I can see Kaylee and Simon leaving. I could see Zoe leaving, but I wouldn't want that. At least not at the beginning. I could see her leaving during the show. Like during the second season, she could leave with her child. And then Wash is like, all right, yep, let's go on to the next adventure. Living life. And then he'll be stuck on the ship. That'd be cool. And then he has to deal with that. Being stuck on the ship where his wife is gone for a couple episodes, and then she comes back, I guess. But yeah, I could see Kaylee not being there, Jane not being there, Simon not being there. How many characters is that? There's Mal, River, Simon, Kaylee, Jane. Book is dead. Wash is dead. Zoe. Who am I forgetting? Mal, Zoe, Wash, Simon, River, Kaylee, Inara. Crap, I've forgotten what I've said. I could see Kaylee and Simon leaving. Book is dead, so that leaves 6 crew members. Jane would have left by then, seeking his own ship, probably buying his own ship, being like, hey, I got this great opportunity as second in command on a ship. Then he becomes the commander of a ship. And then, yeah, I could see that working pretty well. I know this wasn't supposed to be a what would happen in season 2 of Firefly, but I'm liking this a lot. This is all on the fly, mostly. Not the ghost Washburn part, but yeah, you'll just be a crew of 6 plus a few new characters. We need a new mechanic. I assume River could just be the doctor. So that's 1 new character. I think there'd have to be at least 2 new characters, because there are 4 missing crew members, but only 3 missing. Oh wait, no, 5 missing crew members. Wow, 5 missing crew members. No, that can't be right. 5 missing crew members on like a decent sized ship. Yeah. There's like 4 people plus Wash and the baby. You need a new engineer. At the very least. And then a new hired gun. And then like an extra character to round it out, to mix the old and the new. Wow, that would be really cool. 3 new characters plus the baby, who'd probably be like a teenager by now. Like all the actors and actresses have aged by 14 years since the last episode of the show. So you gotta say time has passed. A considerable amount of time has passed. So yeah, there's like 4 old characters, 4 new characters. Wash is a ghost. And of course they meet up with all the other people. Oh, something I just thought of. Inara, her role would have to change, because clearly she wants to stay on the ship to be with Mal, and clearly Mal wants her to stay on the ship to be with her. So I don't think she would be a companion anymore. Like I can I can't see him being comfortable with that, because he's clearly not, during the show, comfortable with her being a companion and him being in love with her, which is why he pretends not to be, and why she pretends not to be. Um, so she could be the doctor and the face. I'm using like gaming terms. But yeah, she could be the negotiator and the doctor potentially, instead of the companion. I'm not saying I have anything against companions. I just don't see it working out if she stays as a companion. She could probably still be registered as one, but not taking clients would make sense. I don't know. This is future space. Maybe Mal would be okay with it, but he's clearly uncomfortable during the series, so I don't know. Anyway, that's what I think. If Serenity is canon, which I think it actually contradicts itself sometimes. I'm going to finish this thought. I'm not going to ramble. So yeah, if Serenity is canon to the Firefly story, when we go into season 2, whenever that happens, that's what I think would have to happen. Time skip forward. Kaylee and Simon and Jane have left to do their own things. Zoe and her child are there with Ghost Wash, but they don't know it. Although I guess the kid does know it, but only sometimes, or only in flashbacks. And River knows it. And then Mal's still there, and Ara's changed from being an active companion to a inactive companion / doctor. And then 3 new characters, a hired gun, an engineer, and someone else, maybe another hired gun, because let's face it, Mal and Zoe are getting old, because it's been 14 years. I wonder what the political situation would look like, too, now that the Alliance has kind of broken its hold, sort of, but only kind of. There's probably rebellions. Ooh, I wonder if they joined another rebellion. Anyway, let's get back on topic, because I was griping about canonicalness. I don't like the intro to the movie. It's well done. It's super good for the movie. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Blue Sun and the Hands of Blue from the show have never stated why they wanted River, and I think stating why you want River is kind of dumb. Like her, I didn't get like, oh, she's a psychic and she could have read the minds of important political people and figured out that the Reavers were actually created by people. By us specifically, us people. And that the Reavers actually do exist. I think that was dumb. I think, she's a psychic, and they made her, and they want to militarize her like the Weapon X project. Also, I'm a firm believer in the Joss Whedon universe, where all the Joss Whedon films and shows are connected. And part of that theory, it's not like a main part, and I think it's only like a side theory to the theory, is that, because Buffy the Vampire Slayer and whatnot, I haven't seen that, so I don't actually know how. This is like my version of the theory, so if I'm wrong, please, let me know. Don't be too harsh. But I think the way it goes is that the vampire hunters are like some government thing, or at least helped by the government or something. And the way I see it, Reavers should have been New Age vampires, space vampires. Vampires went out into space, went crazy, and became the Reavers, rather than humans created them by accident on Miranda. I prefer that they're the vampires, and they've evolved from space evolution or space craziness, and that's why they eat people alive. That's why they can live without core containment, because they're undead. I kind of like that. And then Blue Sun, recognizing this threat, is like, hey, we should do something about that. Let's restart the Vampire Hunter program. And maybe that's what River is. I mean, she's shown very much capable at fighting the Reavers or people or whatever. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do. I think that would be a better thing to do. What was I talking about? Right, the canonicalness of River's, why they want River. I think they should have wanted River because they wanted her to fight the Reavers to stop them from existing because they're vampires. Not to have, because she's a psychic and potentially read the minds of people. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I mean, it makes sense, but not canonically with the show. It makes perfect sense in just the confines of the movie, but I hate that we can't just say within the confines of the movie, this is great, because, it's not just within the confines of the movie. It's within season 1 also, and hopefully season 2. Blending of the two canonical and non-canonical things. What if vampires went crazy because of the thing? That 0.1% on Miranda that went crazy and became Reavers? Maybe that 0.1% of the population were the vampires. And that's why it spreads when people survive, because they are becoming vampires. Holy shit. This works really well, I think. Like, vampire populations are generally pretty low, but in space on these terraformed planets, it's probably not super low percentages because the population is low in general. Like, yeah, maybe it goes down a bit, but 0.1% I think is a pretty good percent. I mean, it's still millions of them, but I mean, depending on what the population of Miranda was. But anyway, I think that would work really well. The packs, whatever, just made them go crazy, and now that's in their system. And so when they spread it, it also spreads the crazy and the packs, and that's what Reavers are. I like that. I really like that. I didn't like that at the beginning of this video. I was really adamantly against the Reavers being from Miranda, but I like this now. Yeah, and then Blue Sun's like, oh, we need to stop this. Let's start the Vampire Hunter program up again so we can fight vampires more effectively with psychics this time. That'd be sweet. And it is, because that makes so much sense. Like, if you can induce psychic ability into people to fight vampires, do it. Just do it. Of course, what they did to her is horrible and unspeakable, but But good on you, Blue Sun. Smart thinking, restarting that program. Yeah, that's why I don't like why Guy is going after River. I think it should have been the Hands of Blue. But then we wouldn't have had that sick action sequence. Maybe the Hands of Blue and Agent Guy work together. That's probably the best. Or like we're shown the Hands of Blue talking to Guy. You're like, hey, we need you to find this person and bring them back because we need her back. Kill literally everyone else if you have to, but not her. Unless, of course, you have to kill her and then, no, even you are expendable. No, never mind. Just kill everyone except for her. That'd be cool. Just to be like, hey, the Hands of Blue, remember those guys from that one episode they were in? No, they were in two. From the 2 episodes they were in, only one in which they were featured. Yeah, they're still a thing because they are still a thing. I think that'd be fun. And it would make more sense why he's going after River in this version. I mean, even though, yeah, they still created the vampires, the Reavers, because the vampires became the Reavers. They created the Reavers. And then she's psychic and mind ready and stuff. So they're like, we want her back. But then also because she can fight the Reavers. That'd be cool. I'd like that. I really liked the Reavers' design too. They were very scary. I'm glad I didn't watch this last night. I mean, I've seen it already, but like, I was thinking of watching it at like 11 at night yesterday because I said I was going to do it yesterday to a friend of mine. Hi, Elliot. But yeah, sorry about rambling. I know it's been longer than 20 minutes, and I try and keep these videos under 22 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's like 25 by now. Oh, no, it's 32 minutes. Well, okay, I'm going to keep going. This is all just like thoughts I have. Like just things I liked. I guess I can go into that. I was talking about canonability and stuff. Also, I didn't like at the beginning where Simon was there because when he's explaining stuff, he said, I hired some people, like an underground movement or something, to get her out. And they brought her to Boros or Persephone, I can't remember which. And then I was going to take her from there. But then in this version, he does it. I kind of like that he does it and then people help him. But that would also mean he knows what she's capable of and, that she's unstable and why. And I don't like that because in the show he doesn't know, and that's a good thing. Well, it's not a good thing, but it's an interesting thing. Yeah, I think that should have been different. I don't, it's not that big of a deal, but you can see why I don't like it, I hope. I guess I'll just go over a couple things I liked quickly as I can, with me rambling and all. I really liked that Mal explains why they're bank robbing, essentially, because times are getting tougher and the government's cracking down and they need to do more illegal things in order to get the same amount of money. So yeah, I liked the banter between Mal and the security guard. It shows that Mal was, still caring about the individual people, just, not caring about the alliance and the people, or like the companies. Very against corporate, but very pro individual. That was cool. I think it's really cool that while the engineer is still, the perv, sort of, um, that it's not like a gross male engineer. Like, I feel like that's a trope. Like, the engineer is a perv, or the computer whiz is a perv, or something, because they have no social skills whatsoever. But I liked that Kaylee is an engineer. Clearly, like, open about her sexuality, and I guess not perviness. She's not like a pervert, but she's open about it, and it's really funny to see Malcolm react to that, because she's like, "Oh, I haven't had anything near my nether regions that don't run on batteries," and then Malcolm acts like a father would, be like, "Why are you telling me this? This is not appropriate conversation." And I think he definitely is a father figure for Kaylee, or at least father figure parallel. I really hope I don't go over, I'm going to go over 40 minutes. Great, this is going to be my second longest video. Congratulations, me. But yeah, and then Jane is like, I could listen some more. Yeah, let's keep talking about this. I'm enjoying myself, because he is a perv, which is very tropey. But yeah, and then at the end of the movie, when Simon's like, "Oh yeah, my only regret is not being with you," and she says, "Oh, you mean like sex?" And he's like, that's part of it, yeah. Partly, part of the regret is that we didn't get to have sex, but part of it's that we didn't get to be in a relationship, and I didn't get to like be your boyfriend and stuff like that. I thought that was funny because it reverses the role, and she's the one more interested in sex, and he's the one more interested in the relationship. Another role reversal is the married couple, Washburn and Zoe, which I think was cool. Would Zoe technically also be Washburn? Did she take his name? I don't actually know Zoe's last name. Could people just call her Wash? They're like, "Oh, hey, Wash. I'm Zoe." "Yeah, I know, but you're also Wash." "But he's Wash." "No, he's Horan. He's Horan. Horan Washburn and Zoe Washburn." Um, Crap, what was I saying? Zoe is the more stoic fighter type, and Wash is the more effeminate, uh, emotionally needy one. I think that's really cool. Not because it's like just a role reversal, but because he's also the comedian character, which makes sense why he would be more effeminate, and she's a soldier. I think all characters are just very well written. Quickly go over the rest. I think that's actually it. Yeah, it's good to see tropes in characters. Characters aren't exactly tropey. They take the tropes, go with parts of them, and then switch them around other times. Like Inara. Inara is the classic hooker with a heart of gold. because she's a prostitute. But as hookers with the heart of gold are generally looked down upon in media by the characters. She is in a place of power above everyone else. She is the most legitimate person there, at least business-wise, which I think is really cool. And then, yeah, all the other characters, Kaylee being very open about her sexuality, and being an engineer and a woman, that's great. I like engineering characters because I'm an engineer. Having diversity in engineers is great. Plus, she's not like a stereotypical engineer. Is that because she doesn't have any formal training? She is just like going off the seat of her pants, like, yeah, I learned all this stuff because I learned it, because I taught myself, because I'm great and really good with engines, and they talk to me and stuff. Is she techno-telepathic? Who knows? But yeah, she more like feels it out rather than going by any specific manual or schooling, which is really cool. But that feels kind of like a trope then, because she's using her emotions and feelings to do science. It's weird, I think, the more I think about it. Yeah. All the characters are really good. That's what I should probably just say. I love all of them. I wish them the best. I mean, I wish them interesting, actually, because if it's not interesting, why watch the show? I do hope they come out with a season 2. Fox, Joss, I'd like to formally say you made a wonderful thing. It's a shame that it was canceled, specifically at Joss, and to address Fox, the fuck you doing? Why'd you cancel that show? I mean, I get, yeah, it's probably made sense at the time, but you're dumb. Anyway, if you plan on making season 2, I would really appreciate it if you consulted me. I would love to have a job with you on story stuff, because yeah, I'd really like to see some of these things in season 2. I know most of the actors and actresses from the show would be super into, or at least at one point were super into doing a second season. I think you should make it happen, and I think you should implement the kinds of things I've said into this. Yeah, you can contact me on my YouTube channel if you want to get in touch. I guess that's it. Sorry if I rambled. I totally rambled. I'm looking at my timer. I'm at 44.5 minutes as of now. I guess I'll just end the video with that. Again, sorry this is the second longest video. I'm atypical, and that was a review.